It's getting presidents to think about new things. It's getting senior teams to work together. And in some cases, they don't have a long history and maybe aren't even comfortable with that. You know, some presidents, some leaders, and they've told me this, I don't really like to have my senior team work together because it's a threat. And I'm going like, it's easier to become the president than I thought. Actually, I was talking to a president down in Arkansas, and this guy was smart, and he could have gone anywhere. And I do a thing called Ask Why 5 times. By the time I get to the third or fourth why, I generally get the truth. So I said, why are you here? Oh, it's serving the church, blah, blah, blah. Really? The third why, I said, why are you? He goes, really, honestly? And I said, yeah. And he goes, within an hour's drive, there's 5 dog tracks. And I go, wow. I put that on my resume. Anyway, more than dollars, it's will. Is your president willing to make tough decisions? Is he or she willing to reallocate assets? The only decisions left are the tough ones, folks. The easy ones have already been made. And unfortunately, the economy has really exacerbated strains in higher education that have been in place for a long time. What it's done is it's shortened the reaction time that colleges have. They're used to a lot of deliberation, and we just don't necessarily have that. People and groups, the champion. If you're the chief marketing officer, I suspect you're the champion. But the champion needs a sponsor. In most cases, that sponsor is the president. Because as a marketing person, the marketing people generally have a much better look outside than most other people on campus, but they don't always have the best look inside. They always underestimate organizational culture and how long it's going to take. And so if you don't have a sponsor that runs interference, I remember when I was at Stamats, I've been there for about 3 years, and I did something, it was magnificent in its stupidity. I mean, it was a bad idea, so well executed, it was astounding. And Bill's father, Peter Stamats, was president at the time, and he hauled me in, and I knew he was going to just lower the boom on me, probably fire me, he should have. And my boss at that time was Larry Zerbel, and Peter's done unloading on me, and Larry goes, that wasn't Bob's idea, that was my idea. I know. And because Larry knew that he could take the heat for it. He knew I couldn't take the heat for it. That's what sponsors do. They take the heat. Because you will do something unintended, well-intended, that will cause some strife. You know, if everybody likes what you're going to do, you're not pushing hard enough. Third, the large, how many of you have, as part of your planning, this group of people, 10, 12, 75, 150 people, that have been appointed by the president? They represent every single faction, the one-legged, Lithuanians, three-legged, Belgians. I mean, everybody's on this committee, and half of them don't like marketing. Anybody working in that situation? Here's what you do. They meet on Friday nights or Saturday mornings. You want to reposition them as a general advisory group. Because when your president did that, they were trying to be representative, but you actually want to merge with a closely held marketing team of 4 or 5 people that have seen the light, because there are no conversion experiences. If somebody doesn't get it, they will not get it as part of the process. What they will do is poison the process and delay and delay and delay. So get that smaller marketing team in place and position that task force as an advisory body. Now, here's a bunch of stuff here. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. This is what the president does. They have a very active role. I generally don't have the president on the marketing team, and the reason is this. Whenever the president shows up, the conversation gets weird. You ever notice that? There's not, the truth-telling goes down. And it's a very few presidents. I remember I was doing one, and I said to the president, I don't really want to have you on the team because people are terrified of you. And he said to this group, you know, if we knew what we were doing around here, we wouldn't be in this mess. And he goes, I screwed this up. I'm just like, and everybody else was, they didn't know whether to believe him or not. We still didn't get him on the team. But don't, you know, keep them sort of arm's length. But the president has a role, and you can read that. They run interference, they provide resources, they remind administrators to work together. Very, very, very important. They make your life easier. Campus involvement. If you're doing a true integrated marketing plan, it's going to look a lot like a strategic plan in terms of the involvement. Now, the danger is some of your faculty and staff are going to say, didn't we go through this already? So if you can just glean stuff that's already been done, gleaning. Don't make them sit through the same basic exercises. Now, if you're doing an integrated marketing communication plan, I generally don't spend a lot of time noodling around campus, and here's the reason why. Your communication strategy is going to rest on the public interpretation of your core values. And if your faculty and staff have already decided your core values, I see no reason to get them involved in redeciding your core values. So again, now, how many of you have to run your creative by faculty? Anybody? A couple of you. Okay, here's what you do. It's kind of sneaky. Say to them the next time they ask about your creative, say, you know, doctor, whatever, when's the last time you came to me with a paper you've written and asked my opinion? They don't. Yeah, I mean, here's the irony. You have 35-year-old designers designing stuff for 17-year-olds approved by 55 and 60-year-olds. The odds are really slim that it's going to work out. So just say, I really appreciate your input. We'll take that under advisement. But don't try to manage the expectation that they get to decide, because it will come at great cost to you. And occasionally you have to go back to the president, the sponsor, and say, I need a little, artillery here. I need a little cover. Send in the troops. Campus involvement. Help the campus understand the process, clarify the role in the process, build their confidence in the process, give them access, clarify the role, especially the people you want the most, because their bandwidth is so constricted because your go-to people are already full up to their eyeballs with stuff. And then aggressively communicate outcomes. Manage those outcomes. Manage their expectations. If the marketing plan is really just designed to focus on one program, tell everybody up front. Because, I can't tell you how many times we've gone to interview faculty about a research study, and half the faculty get bent out of shape because they're not also being studied. And I'll say, that's really, that has to be dealt with ahead of time. So, anyway. Okay, Peter Drucker. Remember Peter Drucker, the great management guru? If you've never read much Peter Drucker, there's a great new book out called The Essentials of Peter Drucker, and it's really approachable, a lot of fun to read. But he said in his life there's only 3 questions he ever asked. What's my product? Who are my customers? How do my customers define value? Those are 3 great marketing questions. Lay the foundation, ask the big questions, designate a champion, build a team. Let's go through these. These are the questions when a president is interviewing me to help him write a plan or her write a plan, I'm interviewing them. And these are the questions I'm asking. Why now? Of all the things you could be doing, why now? Sometimes the reasons are great, sometimes so-and-so just did it, a board member's making me do it, I don't really want to do it. Those are fine. I just want to understand the why now. What's the need, and how wide is this need reflected on campus? The more people that are in pain, the better. In fact, the president once told me that a good president protects the campus from terror, but a smart president lets a little terror in once in a while. We're in terror times, folks. We're all having heart attacks. It's good. How are you defining marketing, Dr. So-and-so? Is it really marketing, or is it in fact just promotion? Wherever they are, join them. Don't convert, don't try to convince, just join them there. Are the major players, and by that I mean the administrative leadership and the faculty leaders by and large, defining marketing the same way? Who are your customers? Peter Drucker's questions. What are your real competitors? Will this plan dovetail with other plans? Does it augment the recruiting plan, or is it designed to supplant it? So these are the questions you ask up front, and what you may find out is a consequence of asking these is, we're not ready. I have some